Why does he do this? Am I not sexy enough? Am I not desirable enough? Is there something wrong with the way I'm having sex with him? Doesn't he know that this hurts me? That this is harming our relationship? If you have any of these questions about your husband who is using pornography, then stay tuned for this video because I'll be answering all of those questions. At the end of the video, I'll help give you some actions you can take if your husband is watching pornography. Why does he do it? To answer this question, I will get a little honest and vulnerable here. I was watching pornography in multiple of my committed relationships. I loved my girlfriend dearly, but I was still compulsively watching pornography. So why was I doing it? Well, the truth is that pornography has much more to do with my internal programming and the way that I learned to cope with uncomfortable emotions. I've done a lot of work on this, a lot of healing on this, and this, in most men, we start watching pornography at age 10, 11, or 12. And throughout our teenage years, we are repeatedly using pornography for a way to escape uncomfortable feelings, and it becomes a lever, an easy lever that we can pull to feel happy, feel good, get some sense of connection and pseudo connection and love with a woman, and we feel pleasure for a moment. It is a brief respite and escape from loneliness, stress, or boredom. Is it about me? Is there something wrong with our sex? Am I not attractive enough? For this question, I will give you an analogy. Imagine growing up in your household that there was always Oreo cookies stocked in your cabinets, and whenever you were throwing a tantrum or you had a really rough day, you and your parents would give you one, or you would go in and grab an Oreo cookie. Throughout your life, as you were older and you graduated college, and when you were in college, you always made sure to have Oreo cookies available. And when you got broken up with, and that boy rejected you, or when you just were feeling stressed out, you would get a little bit of joy and pleasure from that cookie, specifically Oreo cookies. Now, you're in a loving relationship and married to a man who loves to create desserts. He's a baker, he makes you chocolate muffins, cookies, and you can have the most amazing personalized cake one night, but the next night, if your husband is out of town and you've had a terrible day and there is a box of Oreo cookies in your cabinet, you are going to reach for one of those. It is familiar, and you have trained your brain to cope with uncomfortable emotions with this one coping mechanism. Pornography and masturbation is the coping mechanism for modern men today. It's so accessible. It is the lever that we have all learned for years to pull so that we can get an easy access to pleasure and an easy way to escape uncomfortable feelings like stress, boredom, and loneliness. Your husband loves you. Your relationship is strong and has potential. The fact that he watches pornography does not mean that he doesn't love you. It does not mean that you're not sexy, that he's not attracted to you, and that you don't have a great relationship. It just means that your husband has programmed himself for years to pull a lever as a coping mechanism to feel good and avoid feeling bad. Doesn't he know that this affects me and our relationship? To answer this question, honestly, I will say that this depends. There is a spectrum of men. Some men are very self-aware and are consciously aware how their actions and behavior is impacting the ones who they love the most. Some men are blissfully unaware and they have no idea how their actions have consequences and are affecting people that they love and they care about. Some men are in the middle and may have some inkling or some intuition, or maybe you've had a conversation and they have some awareness that this behavior is affecting my wife or affecting our relationship, yet they justify it to themselves, and that voice of addiction and compulsion convinces them that it's not really affecting them. It's just me, no one needs to know, and it's no big deal. So I don't know where your husband is on this spectrum, and that leads us to the final step of what you can do is all about having a conversation. So let's talk about that. What can you do if you know that your husband is watching pornography? Honestly, the only way that your husband will change is if he wants to change. You cannot force him to change his behavior. No matter how badly you want him to change, unless he's really bought in, nothing's gonna change. This is a very powerful compulsion. This gets to the root of our reproductive instincts as a man to seek sexual novelty in this way. So if you think just because you said something to him one time on an off comment that he's not gonna do this anymore forever, that's not how it's gonna work. He needs to really be connected to a reason to quit and the pain of doing this behavior and the pain it's causing, and he needs to really, really want to make this change. So what's your role in this? You can have an honest, open, loving conversation with him about this topic. I'll give you a way to approach this. Don't make this about you versus him, where your husband is the bad guy because he watches pornography, and doesn't he know that hurts you? I know it hurts you. I know it's painful. You feel jealous, you feel less than, you feel hurt, you feel not good enough. Why does he need that? Aren't I enough? Isn't our relationship good? I get it. I know you're feeling lots of things, but please, if you want this to work out between you and your husband, don't make him the bad guy. Frame it this way. You and your husband both have a shared goal. You want a more loving and connected and intimate relationship. You both want this. His lever that he's pulling, this coping compulsive behavior that he has learned over years and years, is harming this potential for a more loving, more connected relationship. And it's causing pain for you. You can share here openly and honestly those feelings. And caution, don't say it this way. You did this, and you make me, and you did this, and you. Don't point fingers and make it all that. Honestly own and use I language of, when I notice this, or when I think about this, or when I witness and perceive this, I feel this way, and that really hurts. Let him know that what he's doing, this behavior, is hurting you. Let him know that this behavior is hurting your capacity and your potential for a more connected, loving relationship. Now, your husband and you are on the same page. You're on the same team where this is an obstacle and this is your goal. That's where you want to be. Please don't make him the bad guy. That'll push his lust and this pattern into the shadows, and more often than not, he will compulsively do this and hide it from you, and it'll get ugly. You want him to be honest with you, you want him to share everything with you, and you want to be able to share everything with him. My hope is that if you can implement this, you will get to that place of a more loving and connected relationship. Cautionary note, things may get more uncomfortable before they get better. It may go down before you reach a new height. These conversations can be uncomfortable, they can be awkward. He might have a lot of shame wrapped up around this. It is very likely that it will be difficult for him to overcome his compulsions, and he may relapse a few times on his journey to getting clean from pornography. This is a natural part of the process. That's something you should be aware of as well. Just because a man, even if you get to that point, your husband wants what you want, he recognizes this is a problem, his heart aches for you and the pain that this is causing you, even if all those things are true, this is such a powerful compulsion that it is very likely that he will relapse a few times on his way to getting clean from this compulsion. Give him grace, give him acceptance, hold his hand through this, love him through this, and you will discover a more deep, intimate, loving relationship on the other side. If this video has been helpful for you, please share it and spread the love. Share it to other people who could benefit from this information as well. If you feel so inclined, share my channel with your husband. I have lots of videos directly directed towards the men themselves who are dealing with pornography addiction, and those videos could be very helpful for him.